Good morning, Bande Matram. Welcome, all of you. So, on this glorious morning, we are going to discuss a wonderful topic, that is Supermind is Superman. So, most of the time, we are acquainted with the term mind is man. On this concept, we are very much familiar. Mind is man. Like this, Sri Aurobindo added one more word to the mind and the man. Supermind is Superman. On that, actually, we are going to discuss a short term. We are going to discuss shortly on Supermind is Superman. So, of course, we are going to discuss in brief on Sri Aurobindo's writings only on this session. That is on Supermind. So, Supermind is Superman. We are going to quote and we'll see little few lines from Savitri. Then, of course, we will go for Sri Aurobindo's various discussions and various descriptions in various places, in various his own creations, great creations on Supermind. So, Sri Aurobindo quotes initially, there is a being beyond the being of mind. Very interesting. If you follow your mind, it will not recognize the mother even when she is manifest before you. So, mind, it is the most super mind is the at the top, and mind is of course it is the lowest point lowest point of the super mind is mind. So anyway, with the mind, it is very difficult to visualize the concept, to understand the concept of the supermind. So we have to go beyond the mind. That is what, of course, here also writes. If you follow your mind, it will not recognize the mother even when she is manifest before you. Mind has got its limitations. Its thought powers are also limited. So we must rise above the mind. That is what the requirement of the time right now. And again, we are going to quote the lines, glorious lines, golden lines from Savitri. If mind is all, renounce the hope of truth. So mind can't be all. If you feel mind is all, then renounce the hope of truth. If mind is all, then of course renounce the hope of truth, hope of bliss. For mind can never reach the body of the truth. Very difficult. We will never reach. So we must rise above the mind. Sooner we rise, better for us. So far, the spiritual conquest are concerned. Mother steering the also, because we know, as per the explanations and as per knowing the truth, we know different layers of the mind. On the mind, it is at the lowest point. After mind, it comes the spiritual mind. Layers of the spiritual mind starts with the higher mind. Then, of course, coming illumined mind, then intuitive mind. After intuitive mind comes the overmind. Overmind is the last of the spiritual mind at the top. Then after the spiritual section comes the the supermind. So from this is the beginning of ignorance. It starts from the overmind. From there below that, the intuitive mind, illumined mind, higher mind, then mind comes. And so after it, this overmind is the passage to supermind. Through overmind, we have to rush into the supermind level. So here also quotes, it is beautifully quoted by Sri Aurobindo in Savitri. There is a being beyond the being of mind. It is quoted from page number 705 from Sri Aurobindo Savitri. Book 11, Canto 1, page 705. There is a being beyond the being of mind, an immeasurable, cast into many forms. Immeasurable, can't be measured, cast into many forms, multiplicity of the divine will. So he wanted to be many. In an immeasurable, cast into many forms, a miracle of the multitudinous one. So this many forms, being cast into many forms, was a miracle of the multitudinous one, of the one who is multitudinous. There is a consciousness mind can touch. It has got its limitation. It can never touch. There is a truth. There is a consciousness, of course. The mind can't reach. Its speech can't utter. Mind in various ways, in various forms, various formats, various languages, it utters. But actually, this consciousness, which is far above the reachability of the mind, that consciousness can be uttered by mind, or its speech can't utter, or its thought reveal. Mind thinks what only surface mind, it thinks, analyzes everything, but actually it's whatever the mind thinks at the position, at this position in the lower hemisphere, it is very difficult to reveal the thought. It has no home on earth, no center in man, very tough. It has to be realized. Most of the times when people keep on hearing the lines, they get exhausted, they get actually troubled. It has no home on earth, no center in man. It is the source of all things thought and done. All things that is thought and done, it is the source, that higher consciousness. The fount of the creation and its works. This is what reality. But the thing is that we know not, our knowledge is limited, our thought is also very much concise, very difficult. It is the origin of all truth here, the son of mind's fragmentary rays. Son of minds, it has got its rays but fragmentary. The son of the mind's fragmentary rays. Again, infinity is heaven that spills the rain of God. Very interesting line, excellent. Infinity is heaven that spills the rain of God, the immense that calls to man to expand the spirit. So how can we reach? How can we gather the idea? Because this can't be explained, unexplained, immeasurable, infinity, sun or beyond the reachability of mind. So what is the point that so that we can reach at least? Then mother quotes the immense that calls to man to expand the spirit. This is the only criteria to expand the spirit. It is the call of the immense. The wide aim, not all the ordinary aim, becoming a doctor, engineer, having a good wife, good family, living happily. It is not ordinary life, but ordinary feelings. But if we exceed a little bit higher, the wide aim, the aim that is wide, that justifies his narrow attempts. A channel for the little he tastes of bliss. Channel for the little, no, nothing great, nothing magnanimous, but a channel for the little. But still, he tastes of bliss if that call is answered, if he can be able to think of this higher consciousness, going beyond the levels of mind. It is the only condition. Some shall be made the glorious receptacle from the receptivity and receptacles, and some shall be made the glorious receptacle. Some shall be made. That is what the requirement. And the vehicles of the eternal luminous power. They will be initially they will be made the glorious receptacles, and second the vehicle of the eternal luminous power. These are the high foreigners, the heads of time. These people who are prepared, called, got the call, who are preparing, who are listening. These are the high foreigners, the heads of time, the great deliverers of earthbound mind, deliverers of the earthbound mind that is bound by earthbound mind. But these are the great deliverers, high transfigurers of the human clay. They transfigure, they transform. High transfigurers of the human clay, the first born of the new supernal race. So for that only we have already described and discussed supermind is superman. If that touch is there, touch of the supermind, if that is accomplished, if that is accompanied, if that is reached, then the firstborn of the new supernal race, not the race which yet to take birth. That consequence there, that conquest is there. Again, I will of course go for the second part from Savitri. We'll skip to the rest of the world. That other portion we will see and will of course expand in the detail. Already from the in the beginning we have seen that supermind is superman, because for mind is man we know, beyond mind it he cannot soar. So only beyond thought mind, it has got its limitation. Only it can think. That is the surface thought. This is playing hide and seek with his own thoughts. Now it is clear, after sometimes it is gray. So, supermind is something beyond the mental man and his limits. Mental man, man with the mind, mental man, possessing the mind mentality. So, beyond the mental man and his limits, there stands the supermind. He can't, of course, reach. Supermind is beyond mental man and his limits. Again, then how really this works? Truth in the supermind is self found and or self existence. There is a truth, greater truth, that is in supermind, that is self found and self existence. Again, the supramental thought is not the means of arriving at the truth. Sometimes we play as if we are going to arrive at the truth, nothing like this. The way of expressing the expressing her, the supramental thought, not just to reach the truth, but expressing the truth, expressing how you will be able to express that. You must know, you must reach, you must see, you must feel. That must be there with the attainment of supermind. Again, the supramental thought is an arrow from the light. There is no chance of, no possibility of finding the falsehood. The supramental thought is an arrow from the light, not to breeze to reach it. So it is only light, not that a bridge from bridge connecting, bridging the gulf between the falsehood and to darkness and the light. Nothing like this. Only it is only works in the light, only in the truth. Again, as here in the course, supermind alone can transform the lower nature. We have got our nature, that is lower nature, and we are possessing. Of course, we are preoccupied and we are possessed. And supramental only that can transform the lower nature. Nothing else, because it is very dense, very very thick, consisting of inconscience. So only supermind alone can transform the lower nature. And again, it is only in the supermind that the full truth consciousness comes into being. Full truth conscious may come into being only with the supermind, nothing else. This mind till the end of the previous spiritual mind section, that overmind also, it is not possible. It is rationality and prudence to distrust the supramental, but to believe in it is a sort of wisdom. It is there, it is existing, it is it is working in the earthly atmosphere. Simply giving a comment without knowing anything, as if I am very much knowledgeable or I know. That is also, that is it is the rationality and prudence to distrust the supramental. It is there. It is a sort of wisdom, accepting it, searching it. It is sort of big sort of wisdom. It is only the supramental that is all knowledge. Nothing is all knowledge. Knowledge that is possessed or gained, whatever is there. It is actually fact that it is supramental that is all knowledge. The first condition, here in the course, three conditions here. The first condition of the supramental change is to get rid of ego. That is the first condition. To get rid of the ego, that is the initial and first condition. Then necessary condition, second condition, power comes inevitably by the supramental change. Power comes inevitably by the supramental change. It is a necessary condition for perfect action. Power comes inevitably by the supramental change. With the supramental change only the power comes. That is the necessary condition. Then Aurobindo quotes again about the another condition. Aurobindo of course change quotes here, ascent and descent. Very interestingly, two terms Aurobindo uses here. The ascent to the supramental truth is not only raises our spiritual and essential consciousness to that height. Ascent not only raises our supramental, the ascent to the supramental truth not only raises the spiritual and essential consciousness to the height, but also simultaneously that descent also there. It brings about the descent of the light and the truth into all the being and all parts of the nature. Again, mother course, as we have seen in the mother book, the book on the mother, the supramental change is a thing decreed and inevitable in the evolution of the earth consciousness. Its upward ascent is not ended, mind it not the last summit, but that the change may arrive, take form and endure. That is needed the call from below with a will to recognize. Call must be there and the will to recognize and not deny the light. Supramental yoga is at once a ascent towards God and a descent of the Godhead into the embodied being. That is the necessary condition. Power comes inevitably by the supramental sense. It is the necessary condition for us. So we must aspire for the superman.